Welcome to Star Trek Discovery Season 2 Recap. I will publish many more recaps on this channel, so stick around and subscribe to stay up to date on your favorite TV series. And if there is a series you would like me to recap, write it down in the comments so I can add it to the list of upcoming videos. Alright, let's get back to today's recap. En route to the planet Vulcan to pick up its new captain following the betrayal of Captain Lorca during the Federation-Klingon War, the USS Discovery receives a distress call from the USS Enterprise. Captain Christopher Pike takes emergency command of the Discovery and explains that the Enterprise was investigating 7 mysterious red signals when it was catastrophically damaged. All but one of the signals have disappeared, but it too is gone when Discovery arrives at its location. They discover the wreckage of the USS Hiawatha on an asteroid made of non-baryonic matter, and inside find engineer Jet Reno nursing the last survivors of the crew. They are all transported back to the Discovery. Commander Burnham then has a vision of a Red Angel while on the asteroid and later visits the damaged Enterprise to investigate the quarters of her foster brother Spock, who had previously taken leave for a personal investigation. She discovers that he had been having nightmares of the 7 red signals. Burnham confronts Pike about Spock's nightmares and his personal leave, and learns that Spock had committed himself to his psychiatric unit and requested that Starfleet not inform his family. Discovery detects another of the signals and uses its spore drive to instantly travel to the planet Terralisium with a previously unknown human population. A loop transmission suggests the population departed Earth during World War III. Pike and Burnham lead an away team to the planet's surface and find a primitive society with a religion combining multiple human faiths. During the team's investigation, an anomaly produces an extinction-level radiation shower. And since Sylvia Tilly, after receiving advice from a medical staffer, uses a fragment of the non-baryonic asteroid to avert the catastrophe, later recognizing the staffer as classmate May Ahern, who died 5 years earlier. Returning to Discovery, Pike reviews footage from a helmet camera recovered on the planet to see that the population had been taken from Earth by the Red Angel from Burnham's vision. Spock's mother Amanda Grayson learns that he has escaped the psychiatric unit and is wanted for murdering 3 doctors. She steals his medical records and takes them to Discovery for decryption. Grayson recognizes a drawing in the records from Spock's childhood art, the Red Angel. Burnham admits to emotionally hurting Spock when they were young to protect him from Vulcan's logic extremists. On Kronos, Klingon House leader Kol Sha threatens to kill Starfleet officer Ash Tyler and the Klingon Empire's leader L'Rell for having a secret child. Instead, they kill Kol Sha with the help of Philippa Georgiou, the Empress of the Mirror Universe's Terran Empire, and now a Starfleet Section 31 agent. In a ruse to consolidate power, L'Rell convinces the Klingon High Council that Tyler and the baby are dead, while in fact Georgiou delivers the baby to a monastery and recruits Tyler to Section 31. On the Discovery, Burnham and Stamets use dark matter to remove a parasite from Tilly that was causing her hallucination of May. A living, intelligent planetoid-sized sphere pulls Discovery out of warp and immobilizes it. The crew surmises that the sphere is well-intentioned and has gathered gargantuan amounts of data from all over the galaxy that it does not want to be lost before it dies. However, the sphere's hold on Discovery triggers the Vahar Eye in Commander Saru, a fatal condition to his species, the Kelpians. The sphere transmits its information to the crew and dies, releasing Discovery so as not to be caught in the ensuing explosion. Saru asks Burnham to help prepare for his death by removing his threat ganglia, which senses danger. However, the ganglia fall out on their own and leave Saru healthy and living without overwhelming fear. Meanwhile, the parasite attaches itself to Tilly again, once again accessing her memories to communicate as a hallucination of May. The parasite claims Discovery has nearly destroyed its ecosystem by using its species' mycelial network to jump through space with the spore drive. It then consumes Tilly, leaving no trace of her. Stamets and Burnham conclude that Tilly has been taken into the mycelial network. She wakes up there with the May parasite, who wants her to help stop a monster that is ravaging their world. Discovery then finds the shuttle that Spock used to escape the psychiatric unit, only to find Georgiou on board. Section 31, Captain Leland assigns Tyler to Discovery as a liaison, to ensure that Discovery does not interfere with Section 31's own investigation into Spock. Discovery conducts a half-jump into the Mycelial network to give Stamets and Burnham limited time to find Tilly before the network consumes the ship. Burnham and Stamets discover the monster is Stamets' husband Hugh Culber, the former Discovery medical officer who was murdered by Tyler during the war. Stamets was connected to the network when Culber died, allowing his energy to be recreated by the spores. Burnham now convinces May to use the parasite cocoon on Discovery, through which Tilly was transported into the network to rebuild Culber's body in normal space. Another of the mysterious signals leads Discovery to Saru's homeworld of Kaminar, where the Kelpian's predators, the Ba'ul, demand Pike to surrender Saru, as Starfleet has agreed to stay out of the conflict between the two species. Pike refuses, but Saru turns himself over to prevent the fight. Tilly works with technologically augmented Lieutenant Commander Arium to sift through the sphere's information on Kaminar. They learn that the Kelpians were once Kaminar's dominant species and nearly eradicated the Ba'ul, with the latter only surviving by using their superior technology to have the Kelpians become the preyed upon species. Pike uses the Ba'ul's technology to trigger the Vahar Eye in all Kelpians, hoping the two species can instead work towards a peaceful solution once the Kelpians are freed and learn the truth about their past from Saru's priestess sister, Sarana. The Ba'ul retaliate to Starfleet's actions by attempting to commit genocide, but are stopped by the Red Angel, who Saru sees is a humanoid wearing a highly advanced suit. Discovery is confronted by a time anomaly while researching the Red Angel's signal over Kaminar. Pike and Tyler investigate the anomaly in a shuttlecraft, sending a probe into it. They are soon attacked by that same probe, now upgraded with future technology, which uses their shuttle's computer system to secretly infect Arium. They are able to destroy it with Stamets' help, as his exposure to the Mycelial network allows him to ignore the time discrepancies in the anomaly. Meanwhile, Burnham visits Vulcan as she continues to search for Spock. Confronting Grayson, Burnham learns that she has been hiding Spock, who is in psychological distress, repeating phrases and a series of numbers. His father Sarek instructs Burnham to trust Starfleet and take Spock to Section 31 for help in fixing his mind. Section 31's doctors claim that they can help him, but Giorgio warns her that Spock will not survive the memory extractor that Section 31 plans to use on him. Giorgio then helps Burnham stage an attack that allows Burnham and Spock to escape the ship. In Star Trek the original series, the Enterprise visited Talos 4, where Pike and Spock met the Talosians, beings that can create incredible illusions. Pike fell in love with Vina, an injured Federation crewman in the Talosian scare, but she was unable to leave the planet and survive, while Pike chose to return to the Enterprise. Now, Burnham and Spock secretly travel to Talos 4, where the Talosians heal Spock's mind in exchange for Burnham's memories of emotionally scarring Spock. Spock reveals that he mind melded with the Red Angel, a time traveler trying to avert a galactic catastrophe in the future. Meanwhile, Stamets attempts to reconnect with Culber, who is going through an identity crisis. Culber confronts Tyler, but realizes that he is going through a similar crisis. Discovery then collects Spock and Burnham after the Talosians help Vina contact Pike, and distracts Section 31 by telepathically projecting illusions of Spock and Burnham. Escaping, Discovery and its crew become fugitives from Starfleet. Starfleet Admiral Katrina Cornwell secretly joins Discovery to interrogate Spock, and brings video footage depicting Spock murdering the three doctors. Saru discovers that Section 31 faked the footage using holograms, and Cornwell directs Discovery to Section 31 headquarters, where Starfleet's artificial intelligence Control is kept. Control is behind the forgery and has been directing Section 31 to pursue Spock. Burnham, Security Officer Nan, and Arium beam into the headquarters to find the personnel, including Section 31's leadership, dead after Control turned off life support systems. Arium is tasked with restoring Control to Starfleet's intended purpose, but the virus from the future she carries is Control itself, and instead attempts to upload the Sphere's knowledge of all artificial intelligence into Control's database. Arium asks to be ejected into space before Control gains the knowledge that it wishes, and Nan does so before it is too late. Arium dies, reliving her favorite memory from before she was technologically augmented. While preparing for Arium's funeral, her system is purged of the Control virus along with all other control systems around Starfleet. While doing this, Tilly discovers a bioneural scan of the Red Angel in Arium's code that matches Burnham. Leland reveals that Section 31 built the Red Angel time travel suit 20 years ago in a temporal arms race with the Klingons, and that Burnham's parents had been part of that program, with Leland's carelessness at the time leading to their deaths. Together with Discovery, they now plan to use Burnham as bait for the Red Angel. They travel to SL4, where there's enough energy to power their trap. Burnham is left out in the planet's unbreathable atmosphere until the Red Angel appears. Leland's Section 31 ship is able to close the wormhole behind the Red Angel to stop future control from following her through, though Leland is attacked by the present control, which is still active within the ship. The Red Angel is caught in the trap and revives the momentarily dead Burnham, who recognizes the figure as her mother. When the Burnham's laboratory was attacked by Klingons years ago, Michael's mother donned the time travel suit to go back in time an hour and warn them of the attack. She instead arrived 950 years in the future to find all sentient life destroyed by control. Tethering herself to a nearby planet, Dr. Burnham made over 840 attempts to change the future, including moving humans to her planet Terralisium to test how she can change history. Trying to stop control from gaining the sphere's data, Dr. Burnham was responsible for it crossing paths with the Discovery. Now, the Discovery crew plans to upload the data into the suit and send it into the future where control cannot access it, while keeping Dr. Burnham in the present. However, a control-possessed Leland intercepts the download. Giorgio and Tyler confront him, with Tyler gravely injured but able to warn Discovery. The crew is forced to cut the transmission to the future short and release Dr. Burnham back to the future, with the suit now damaged and Control Leland escaping with half of the sphere data. A new signal appears over Boreth, a place sacred to Klingons, where a Klingon monastery is located and monks guard time crystals, the same monks that Tyler and Lorel left their son with. Pike visits the monastery to retrieve a time crystal and finds their son is now a fully grown adult named Tenavik. Tenavik explains that life on Boreth is affected by the crystals and that if Pike takes one, he will not be able to change the future that it shows him. Pike sees a future where he's severely disabled in an accident, but chooses to take the crystal to serve the greater good. Meanwhile, Burnham and Spock investigate a Section 31 ship that had checked in 10 minutes later than usual, and find all of the crew dead except for one, Cameron Gant, an old colleague of Burnham who has been possessed by control and attempts to take over Burnham. Spock is able to stop control with magnetism and they escape back to the Discovery. The Section 31 fleet soon arrives, forcing Pike to order Discovery be destroyed to keep the sphere data away from control. Discovery escapes and rendezvous with the Enterprise, with Discovery evacuated onto the other starship. From there, they initiate the self-destruct, but the sphere data takes control of Discovery's systems and prevents this from happening, defending itself. Burnham proposes that the time crystal be used to take Discovery itself to the future, where Control cannot get to it, planning to wear a copy of her mother's suit to lead the ship there. Pike agrees and resumes command of the Enterprise to keep Control distracted. Then, a new signal appears, leading Discovery and Enterprise to the planet Zahea, which is ruled by Tilly's friend, Queen Poe. A brilliant engineer, Poe assists Stamets, Tilly and Reno with preparing the suit and time crystal for the journey. Some of the Discovery's crew choose to stay with Burnham, as does Giorgio, while Saru is made acting captain by Pike. As the Section 31 fleet arrives, Discovery and Enterprise prepare for battle, while the suit and time crystal are finalized. Tyler retrieves the Klingon fleet to assist in the battle, while Serana arrives with Ba'ul fighters after receiving a farewell message from Saru. Stamets is seriously injured and is cared for by Culber. Meanwhile, a Section 31 torpedo penetrates the Enterprise without detonating, but a secondary detonation kills Cornwell after she seals off the surrounding area. Control Leland boards Discovery and is defeated when Giorgio magnetizes the nanites in his body, allowing Section 31's fleet to be destroyed. In the suit, Burnham travels to the past and sets the 5 signals that led them to this point. She then sets the 6th signal for Discovery to follow as she travels 900 years forward, and promises to set a 7th when they arrive. The crew of the Enterprise tells Starfleet that Discovery was destroyed in the battle and are ordered to never speak of it or of the crew again, while Tyler is placed in command of Section 31. Months later, the Enterprise detects the 7th signal as it begins a new adventure. Thank you all for watching and see you on the next recap.